2011, and it's going to be on the region of the country of Chad, or the region of Chad. And this is an anthropologist by the name of Dr. Alice C. Lindsay, and she's done a lot of biblical um, archaeology, linguistic DNA, migration studies on the entire continent of Africa and combining it with Genesis. And her website is called Just Genesis. So let me just change this up again right quick. I think I'm just going to just leave my mug off this. Okay. So it says the confirmation of biblical population. And let me go back here, enlarge that. And I just wanted to read this portion. It says, the wildly dispersed early Hebrews were in the region of Lake Chad, the Nile Valley, Arabia, Mesopotamia, Anatolia, Eurasia, and the Indus Valley. So all of her work, again, is based on linguistic, migration, archaeology, DNA, and historic biblical history. And again, this is dated September 1st, 2011. Alice C. Lindsay. It says the first ruler listed in Genesis 4 to 6 lived in the Chad Basin during the late Holocene. This includes Cain, Seth, Enoch, and Noah. At that time, Lake Chad had an area of close to 200,000 miles. As the climate changed and the water level receded, that was once a single lake became at least three separate lakes: Lake Chad, Lake Bodili, and Lake Fitri. It says the 10,000 year skeleton unearthed by Paul Sereno at Gabarro in Niger was buried on the edge of a paleo lake on the northwestern rim of the Chad Basin. The Gabarro site is the earliest known cemetery in the Sahara, and the large lake was likely another part of Lake Mega Chad. So Chad and Burkina Faso, the Sahel region, period, goes all the way back thousands of years of culture and can be connected to the biblical history of the ancient Israelites. So the Chad or the Sahel region is consists of Mauritania, Mali, Niger, Sudan, Nigeria, Burkina Faso, Senegal, and Eritrea. So there are actually still Israelites that live in that region, God's chosen people. And my thing is this: I believe that how the Westerners are so bent on controlling that region and bent on keeping it unstable. Well, you know it's because of the resources, but I also believe that also because of the deep rooted history, ancient history that can date back to the ancient Israelite times. Now, I hear a lot of people here in the United States. Some of these YouTubers are saying how, oh, not all the Africans over there, they're Hamites, they're not Shemites. During the transatlantic slave trade and the Sahara slave trade, they did not bring all of Israel or Judah over here, or all the rest of these northern tribes in the four corners of the earth. The Most High says in Hosea 1:10 that his people is as the sand of the sea. Come on, y'all, stop it. They're still in that region. Even when you go read Isaiah 11:11, talks about Cush. Um, what other Cush? Let me get that right quick. Cush, Egypt, and all the different other areas in that region. It talks about also in Zephaniah 1:10 beyond the rivers of Ethiopia. You know what's beyond the river of Ethiopia? That's West Africa. So if there's no Israelites in that area, then why would Isaiah and Zephaniah be saying that he's going to the area to get his people? You all need to start reading scriptures as well as trying to when you're trying to connect or not connect something to the Bible or some people in Africa not to the Bible, you better make sure you have scriptures also to back you up. Because it's clearly that he said he's going to gather his people from all those regions. So um, so anyways, we need to again we just need to make sure that we're when we're denying people not being the people of God, at least have some history and some biblical proof to support your premise. Now, I'm saying I'm not perfect, but I'm not going to be. If I don't know it, I'm not going to say it. If I don't know the facts, I'm going to keep my mouth shut. But I'm going to go to Isaiah 11. Isaiah 11:11 says, "And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria, from from Egypt, from Pathros, Cush, from Elam, from Shinar, from Hamath, and from the island of the sea." Those are areas. Some of those areas is in Africa. Okay, so stop it, you all. Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! And then also Zephaniah 3:10, "From beyond the rivers of Ethiopia, my supplement, even the daughters of my dispersed shall bring my offering." Beyond the river of Ethiopia is West Africa. So that means that his people are still there in Africa, mixed in with the Hamitic people as well. And remember now, Hamitic people are also the brother of Shem. Stop it. Cousins, brothers. Anyways, so I'm gonna read this article. It says the first ruler list in Genesis 4:6 lived in Chad Basin. I just read that. Um, Let me read it again. The first ruler list in Genesis 4:6 lived in the Chad Basin during the late Holocene. This includes Cain, Seth, Enoch, Noah. At that time, Lake Chad had an area of close to 200,000 miles. As the climate changed and the water level receded, was what was once a single lake became at least three separate lakes: Lake Chad, Lake Bodili, and Lake Fitri. It says the 10,000 year skeleton, 10,000 years, y'all. That's how old this place is, that region, Sahel. Unearthed by Paul Sereno at Gobiro in Niger, were buried in the edge of a paleo lake on the northwestern rim of the Chad Basin. The Gobiro site is the earliest known cemetery in Sahara, and the large lake was likely another part of Lake Mega Chad. So it shows here the Lake Bodili, Lake Chad, Lake Fitri. Here's the area. It says when the water receded. Now, when the water receded, this account sound like the flood. Hmm. Noah's flood. Here's another map here. Um, Letters are really small, but it says Noah and the other Chadic rulers of Genesis controlled commerce on the interconnected water system. These were the roads by which they conquered other territories and spread their worldview. Chadic, Chadic, like in Chad, the oldest known language. It says Chadic is one of the best researched branches of the Afro-Asiatic language phylum. According to Genesis, the first ruler, Cain, Seth, and Enoch, are associated with the region where Chadic is spoken, the language Chadic. This includes Chad, northern Cameroon, North Nigeria, and southern Niger and areas around Chad, Lake Chad. The area is called Borno, which means land of Noah. This is the only region on earth that has place names reflecting the ruler list in Genesis 4 and 5. I just wish she could give me some verses in Genesis 4 and 5. But let me just do something right quick. Let me do a search right quick. Just let me do this right quick. So maybe I can find something to say Chadic. Let's see here. Um, I wonder if Chadic also has anything to do with the Chaldeans. The Chaldeans were also Hermetic people. Anyways, I digress. I want to get off the article. Um, it says Chadic is the most diversified of the Afro-Asiatic language and considered the most ancient subgroup within the Afro-Asiatic phylum. The antiquities of Chadic River population is attested by the discovery of an 8,000-year-old black mahogany dugout in Dafuno in the upper Yobe Valley along the Kamunduga Guna River in northern Nigeria. This region was much wetter at the time that the ruler list in Genesis lived there. So here is the Damfuna boat. It says it is about 4,000 years older than the oldest boat found in Egypt. So that means that Chad was older than Egypt, if that's what it's saying. It says it was a time when the major water system of West Central Africa was connected around 8,000 years ago. Lake Chad had an area of 249 miles or 400,000 kilometers and a depth of 586 feet. The Kamaduga Guna River connected Lake Chad and the Benue through, making it possible to travel by boat from Lake Chad to the Atlantic Ocean. So here you have Niger, Chad, Nigeria, Cameroon, Central African Republic. So this is West Africa. This is the Sahel, or maybe below the Sahel. You have the Chad here, you have Niger here, then Nigeria under there, and then Cameroon and Central Africa. This is just food for thought, y'all. I'm not gonna be on here long. I just thought I'd bring this on here and maybe go check out her website. Again, it's called Just Genesis. Really good information. Um, Let me read a little more. It says Genesis tells the story of how Cain left his home and went eastward to a place where he married the daughter of a Chadic chief named Noch or Enoch. See how they changed the names of the biblical? Here's the ancient name Noch, but when these sticky fingers start changing names, altering names, altering names of the area, to hide the history, to hide the people. But you know, the scripture says that what's been hidden will be uncovered. That's what's happening right now, you all the lies that they've tried to hide is being uncovered in these last days. So it says Genesis tells the story of how Cain left his home and went eastward to a place where he married the daughter of Chadic chief named Noch or Enoch, and built and a name a city after his firstborn son Enoch. Enoch the younger was named by Cain's wife after her father, indicating that she was Cain's cousin, and her firstborn was heir to the throne of his maternal grandfather. It says we can place Cain and Enoch in the region of northern Nigeria or Nok or Kano. Lord have mercy. We know the Bible was written by black people and for black folks, what they call black folks today. But we know that the original ancient Israelites, which God called his people the ancient ones, because he does call his people ancient, and the he said the ancient, my ancient people and their ancient ways. So we know, and we know that we're ancient, even going back to Chad, just Chad, just one country alone, go back tens of thousands of years. Excuse me. So they have bamboozled us for a long time. And I'm like, so like, I thought I was past being angry, but seeing like the deeper I dig, the worse it gets. But I just wanted to check and see if I can find there was something I was going to look at. Oh my goodness. Oh, I guess I just lost my thought. Then it goes on to say, Genesis then tells us about Lamech, who had two wives, typical of pattern of Chadic rulers. And in Africa, they're known to have more than one wife in the continent, because there's several countries in the continent. By one wife, he had a daughter named Naamah, who married her patriarchal cousin or uncle Methuselah, and named their firstborn son Lamech after her father. Lamech the younger was the heir to the throne of his maternal grandfather. So they married within their cousins and distant cousins, so they can keep the bloodline clean, y'all. That's why right now they are messing with those people in the Sahel region. They're also screwing around with their and trying to dismember their culture and take it away from them. Not just the resources, the land, the resources, the culture, their religion, their God. These are wicked people, y'all. These are wicked, soulless people. And the Most High God gonna kill every last one of them. I shouldn't put that, forgive me saying that word kill, but He'll unalive a lot of them. So this is like, anyways, let's go on. It says, Lamech, the younger, was the father of Noah, a Chadic ruler whose territory included Borno, meaning land of Noah. It is the region of Lake Chad, which at the time that Noah lived was a very large lake. Noah's flood was likely the result of a monsoon which swelled the lake region over which Noah ruled. So this is a flood. It's talking about the flood. So is this sound like it's connecting Lake Chad to the flood, to that area where it started? I don't know. Let's go. Let's keep it going. Um, it says Noah's three sons. Noah's three sons were Ham, Shem, and Japheth. Ham and Shem appear to have been the firstborn son by two different wives, and the leading Chadic line descending from Noah. The exclusive intermarriage of their line has been confirmed by the analysis of Genesis 4 and 5. and by the maternal studies, the maternal L3 of Chadic speaking population involves a relatively homogeneous group with a lower diversification than the other Afro-Asiatic branches, including the Semitic and Kushite, or Semitic and Cushitic. The most recent common ancestor of the L3 dates to about 8,000 years ago, the same time period that Noah would have lived with his two wives to whom he was related by blood. Now I understand why the Most High told them to not marry, to marry among their own people. Oops, I'm sorry. No, what I just, oh yeah, I don't want to get stuck here. Okay, there we go. Um, see, it does, okay, it says, the rulers had two wives. This meant that there were two firstborn sons. The son of the first wife ascended to the throne of his biological father. The firstborn son of the second wife served as a sort of prime minister in the kingdom or territory of his maternal grandfather, after whom he was named. They kept it all in the family. It says other sons were sent away, as Ham and Shem was the ruling sons. Japheth was likely a Sinaway son who moved into the Upper Nile region, where some of the descendants have been identified as the Magyar or the Magyar people. Likely there was intermarriage between Nilotic people and Chadic, especially in the case of Japheth. Nor all three sons was melanated men. There wasn't no Japanese, white and black. That's what they say rubbish. Rubbish and garbage. And a lot of just lying, teaching, and rewriting history, adding, taking away. Jesus. It says this has been confirmed by DNA, mtDNA, what you call it, maternal, sorry, DNA studies of the L3 haplogroup that show that the only non-Chadic basin sequence in the L3F3 subhaplogroup is from the Upper Nile or Nubia. The TMRCA of the L3 of 3 subs haplogroup is 8,000 years ago. Old history. Now I understand when the Bible calls us ancient. I just want to find the scripture real quick here. Now I'm just doing this as we go, so I didn't do like no, I didn't do like uh, didn't prepare anything. I'm just reading as I go. So as I go, I want to find this because I know there's some scripture called ancient, called his people ancient, his ancient people, and I think that's in Isaiah. Uh, it says, talk about the ancient time. It says in Isaiah 44:7, "And whom as I shall call and shall declare it and set it in order for me, since I appointed the ancient people and the things that are coming and shall come, let them show unto them." There was another one because he called his, um, here it is right here, Isaiah 47:6. "I was wroth with my people. I have polluted my inheritance and given them into the hands. Thou didst show them no mercy. Upon the ancient hast thou very heavily laid thy yoke." He said, yeah, and that's what they're doing today, you all. They're laying their heavy yoke upon God's ancient people. And they took us from our ancient land and brought us over here in this God-forsaken belly of the beast. So right here, he's saying his people is ancient, talks about the ancient language. It says, "Awake, awake, put on strength, O arms of Yahuwah, and awake as in the ancient days. And the generation of old, art thou not it that hath cut Rahab and wounded the dragon?" Or just reading a couple of scripture here. Talks about the ancient time, connects it with the ancient. So if he's talking about the ancient time in Isaiah, he's talking to his people that is ancient, his ancient people. But anyways, yes, Sahel, Africa is an ancient land, you all. It is the land of what? Eve. Let's go to Genesis 2. Okay. So I'm going to go to Genesis, content Genesis. I think it's Genesis 2. Um, Talks about the, right here. It says, now check this out, you all. Check it out, check it out. Now, we know that when they start talking about these stones and stuff, they're not found in over there in Israel right now. They're found in Congo, the Sahel, basically the Sahel region, up and lower. It says, "And a river went out of Eden to water the garden, and from thence it was parted, and became into four heads." Verse 11, and this is Genesis 2:11. "The name of the first is Pison." Hold on, hold on. Oops. Genesis, let me see, 2. I want to do this. Okay, so it says the name of the first is Pison, and that's a river of Eden, Pison. That is it which compasses the whole land of Havilah. Havilah was an eastern region, and also its name Havilah is also named by two Israelite men. "Where there is gold." Listen, y'all. Havilah, where there is gold. "And the gold of that land is good. There is beldanah, pearls, perhaps amber, y'all, and oxy, which probably the beryl, a pale green color, a oxystone. And the name of the second river is Gihon, which is near Jerusalem." That's why this tells you that Israel is part of Northeast Africa, not no freaking Middle East. Middle East was created when they created that Sunu Canal in 1869 and finished it. They separated Egypt and Israel from the rest of Africa, Northeast Africa, and then called it Middle East. That's a relatively new name, region name. It's not ancient. I don't want to get all pissed off right now. But anyway, it says, um, it says Havilah, and there is gold. Um, it says, okay, and then it says in 12, "And the gold of that land is good. There is Beldium and oxen." Then 13, "And the name of the second river is Gihon, and the same as that compasses the whole land of Ethiopia, Cush, Ethiopia." Also the name of a son, the Israelite. "And the name of the third river is Hadakal, or the river, Hadakal River, or Shadakal. It's actually Shadakal, not Hadakal. Oh boy, they tell you, I said Shad, like Chad, like Chadakal. I swear. "That is which it goes towards the east of Assyria, and the fourth river is Euphrates, And Euphrates in Mesopotamia, and Assyria too is in Mesopotamia, which is still people of color that was there. And it says 15, and Yahuwah Elohim took the man and put him into the Garden of Eden to dress it and to keep it. All those stones I just mentioned, that's in the Sahel. That's West Africa in that area, y'all. I believe that the motherland is in, well, of course it's in Northeast Africa because Israel and Egypt should be part of Northeast Africa. And like I said, they separated and the other land, like Jordan, all the rest of them, away from the rest of Africa. So technically, that was one mass, one land mass. But anyway, I digress. Let me go on. It says, um, it says no three sons, Ham, Shem, and Japheth. Ham and Shem appear to have been the firstborn sons by two different wives, and the leading Chadic line descended from Noah. The exclusive intermarriage of their lines have been confirmed in analysis in 4:5, Genesis 4:5. Then it says the ruler had two wives. This means that there were two firstborn sons. The son of the first wife ascended to the throne of his biological father. The firstborn son of the second wife served as a sort of prime minister in the kingdom or territory of the maternal grandfather after he was named. Goes on to say that the other sons were sent away as Ham and Shem was the ruling sons. Japheth was likely a sent away on son who moved into the Upper Nile region, where some of the descendants have been identified as the Migra. Hold on, y'all. I'm gonna wait for this to go by. Let me close my window. I had no idea this was gonna happen. Oh, that's so disturbing. Sorry. Apologize. Um, It says the other sons were sent away as Ham and Shem was the ruling son. Japheth was likely a sent away son who moved into the Upper Nile region, where some of the descendants had been identified as the Magra or Magyar people. Likely there was intermarriage between Nilotic people and Chadic, especially in the case of Japheth. This has been confirmed by um, maternal DNA studies of the L3F haplogroup that show that the only non-Chadic Basin sequence in the L3F3 sub haplogroup is from the Upper Nile or Nubia. The TMRCA of the L3 of 3, I don't know what the TMRC is, but anyways, L3 of 3 subs haplogroup is 8,000 years ago. Now the L3 of 3, I do know this is the mother haplogroup. It says which align with the data from Genesis 4:5, King lists, as well as the evidence from the archaeology, linguistic, biblical, and anthropology. Ancient Nubians included red, black, and brown people. And last it says, other of Japheth descendants moved north into what is today the region of Hungary, Hungarian, call themselves Magyar. So there it is. All three sons was melanated that migrated out. So of course, when they migrate out, they start intermarrying. Everything changes, texture, phenotype, that stuff changes, but the blood stays the same. It's all about a blood thing. That's why they kept within each other. So anyway, you all thought I would share that. I thought it was interesting. I hope you all enjoyed it. Go online. Her website is called Just Genesis, and Alice C. Lindsay is her name. So I say to you all, have a blessed day. Um, I could do more, but I'm going to go ahead and end this. So again, I hope you enjoyed this little article. Okay, have a good one.